Hi, I'm Dana. This is Otis, and I did record a whole body doubling video that was going to be really good, but I think I've accidentally deleted it because I just can't find the footage. So instead, I'm going to stay in my pyjamas because it's Sunday and I didn't think I was going to have to film today. And I'm going to boost up the video idea I had for Tuesday, which was going to just be a little chat about Christmas after you've ended up going no contact with your family, when your family's estranged, when you haven't got any family. I am very used to talking about my family being estranged because I cut off my mother and my brothers, but then my mum also died, so I literally do not have parents at this point, and my family was never close. And like, yes, technically I have like living family out there somewhere, but I don't communicate with them, I don't talk to them. The ones that I knew remotely well, I actively decided to stop talking to, and the rest of them I just didn't really have a relationship with to end, never mind continue, you know? But up until 2021, I'd spent every Christmas with my mum and she made a massive deal out of it. My family were very image focused. We all pretended that everything was really good and really nice and really great, even when like literal abuse was happening. So obviously with Christmas being the time for family, we all had to come together and play nice and act like everything was great. So my first Christmas that I didn't have to do that, I felt quite an immense amount of relief. I was like, oh thank God, you know, I don't have to go over and put up all the Christmas decorations. That was one of the big things that we did together that I did actually vaguely enjoy. And then when I got a little bit older, once I got to, I would have been 16 or 17 and I'd been out with my boyfriend and we got home and the Christmas decorations were just all up. Like it started being used as a punishment of like, well, you weren't here, you weren't actively being a part of the family 24/7 every second of the day, so you don't get to join in with the family activities. Even though I was living there and I'd just popped out to have like a little date day, like it was ridiculous. So a lot of Christmas for me, even though I did like it and I did spend it with my family and I did enjoy lots of elements of it, a lot of it was just walking on eggshells and trying to keep everyone happy and trying to make sure I was doing the right thing when I had no idea what the wrong thing was even going to be, because it was just me living my life and doing normal things that normal people do would suddenly be the worst thing in the world because it's Christmas and you're meant to be with your family. So a lot of my like initial thoughts and feelings were just that I was quite relieved, that I was glad that I wasn't going to have to deal with that and go through that and like just generally walk on eggshells and mask and pretend to be someone I'm not and pretend to be part of a family that isn't the way they're all pretending to be and all of that. Like, it was just a massive release of stress, a massive release of pressure, and I was quite relieved. And then it got closer to actually being Christmas and I was like, I don't want to spend it on my own. Like, I don't want to spend Christmas with my family, but I have never ever desired to spend Christmas on my own. And the closer it got to Christmas and the more it started looking like that, the more I started just being like, anybody that I know, have me for Christmas. Anybody that is not my family, please just adopt me and take me in for Christmas. And that's what I've managed to do every year. I won't lie to you, I've had 3 Christmases that I technically would have been like alone, aka without family, but I've not spent the actual day on my own because I frankly don't think that's a sensible idea for me. As much as I'm glad to not have my family, quite frankly, and as much as I know that I'm doing the best thing for me and all of that, the act of actually spending Christmas Day alone, I wouldn't deal with well. I know that I wouldn't. As it got closer to the day, my initial plan, because I didn't think that I was going to like be with people, was that I was going to like get my Christmas food in and get some like Christmas movies that I like and watch those on my own and cook myself a dinner. And the more I thought about it and the closer it got, the more I was like, I reckon I could get through the morning. I could pour myself some like Bucks and have a little morning and cook me breakfast and like open the handful of presents people have gotten me on my own. I could get through that, that'd be alright. The idea of sitting down for me Christmas dinner on my own, just watching a film, took me out. Like, I would sit and cry over the idea of that. I was like, I can't do that. Don't get me wrong, I know lots of people do, and I know that if it came to it and I had to and I just didn't have any other option, I probably would get through it, but I don't think I'd be able to make it a nice time. I don't think I'd be able to make it something that was enjoyable for myself, you know? Like, I don't think I'd have any sort of fun at all. So my first Christmas without my family, I had a friend that invited me to have like the evening with them because they were having family there during the day. And then my partner at the time was part Norwegian. So they celebrated with their family on Christmas Eve and had Christmas Day free. And then at the last minute, they took the Christmas shift at work. So I ended up spending my morning in their workplace with them. And it's one of those things where they were like, see, you don't have to spend Christmas alone. And I was like, you're in the staff only areas cleaning up after the cats, and I'm sat out here on my own having a cry on Christmas Day because I'm on my own and my girlfriend doesn't seem to particularly like me. We broke up 2 months later. She didn't like me very much. And then we'd gone to the friend's place and had Christmas dinner there, and that was much more cheerful and fun and nice because like there were like 4 of us and they had pets and they'd cooked dinner, and it was one of those things where during the moment I had a fantastic time there. I really liked those people. They made a banging fucking dinner. I was like really fucking happy with the scran and was like, yeah. And then we'd gotten in the taxi to go home and my girlfriend was like, oh, that was really spicy, that wasn't a good dinner, or this and that and this and that, and just really put it all down and made out that it had been a really horrible time. So it was one of those where like I had so many highs and lows that Christmas where I was like, this is great, I can do Christmas without my family. Oh, this is horrible, this is even worse than doing Christmas with my family. I wish I'd just done this on my own. You know, like it was the constant back and forth that first Christmas. And I think I also struggled because in the lead up, I just hadn't been having a fun time. Like I was trying to move out of my horrible abusive ex's house and just trying to figure things out and nothing was going my way. You know, like it was just a really bad fucking year and a really bad month, and the whole lead up to it was horrible, and that all definitely attributed to it being just not the best day. Like I say, it was not the worst. There were definitely moments I enjoyed and moments that really like validated my choices, you know? And I think it's the thing as well, even if I'd spent it on my own, I might have gotten down about being on my own and not having people around. I was never upset about not having my family around, you know? It was never about the specific people. I never missed like specific people. It was just, I wish I had someone to talk to. I wish I had someone to like bounce off and have a good time with here instead of sitting in a quiet house on my own. And then the last 2 Christmases, I've gotten really, really lucky because obviously my best friend Winter's American, living in the UK, so they don't have their family about either. So I've been able to gig in and have Christmas with them. And they also have a friend who's from Cyprus, so they often don't have their family about either. And it's been the 3 of us. And it's been really lovely and really nice. And that would definitely be my advice, is finding, if you can, other people. Even like, as much as I've managed to find people like in my life, in real life, like near to me, and like I live with Winter now, like obviously I'm gonna be spending Christmas with them, but I would definitely like find even people online that you could like have a little Zoom call with. It's the kind of thing where like I've fucked myself over on here before by being like, just message me, and then suddenly there's been like 50 messages and I'm like, oh no, don't message me actually. But you know, like I have a very calm, quiet Christmas with like just a handful of people watching a lot of things, so like maybe I could do like a live or something. I've never done a live thing online before, but maybe on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve I could do a little live and we could all hang out and chat. That would be really cool. I'd like that. Comment if that's something you'd like as well, something you'd find useful, something you'd enjoy. Like I very, very much think the big thing is just finding little bits to make it feel sort of festive and nice and like you're having a good fucking time, you know? I think that because Christmas is considered like the time for families, we hinged so much of our enjoyment of it on being around family, and I just don't think it's necessary. I also found it really helpful to sort of like unpack my thoughts and feelings around Christmas as a whole, because like I'm not a religious person. I don't really particularly believe in God or Jesus or anything like that, so I'm definitely not celebrating like the birth of Jesus Christ. And I'm also like, I'm fully not religious, so I'm also not a fucking pagan or anything. Like there is no spiritual or like actual importance from me for Christmas, you know? It's just the societal thing of you buy people you love presents and you spend time with your family, and it's a time for giving. And when I really, really got down to it and started thinking like, what did I enjoy about Christmas? Because I've always been a Christmas person. I've always been really excited for Christmas. As a kid, like I would have like days and days of like throwing up before Christmas because I was just so fucking excited. And it's, for me, it's very much, I like Christmas food, I like marzipanstollen, I like Leberkuchen, I like anything with like gingerbread and cinnamon and all the cloves and spices and nutmeg and all the good stuff. I like my fucking cinnamon rolls, I like mulled wine, I like having the excuse to get quite drunk, I won't lie. I used to love Christmas films and I am increasingly struggling with them. My absolute all-time favourite Christmas film's Nativity, and that's one that has held up for me like over the lot. Nativity is always a really good Christmas film, but I thought it'd be really fun to watch Christmas Carol recently because it had Serene Jones in it, and then she time travelled back to the 80s and asked if she was dead, and I was like, this is just my kind of shit. A woman out of Doctor Who waking up in the 80s and being like, am I dead? That's for me. And then it explored the whole like estrangement with her father and how he was dying and how Christmas future will be him dead, and I was like, oh, this is really for me. No. So like it is worth reading the synopsis and like actually looking into that kind of thing before watching Christmas films, because the ones that are family heavy like that, and especially the ones that have a message, like for me, the ones that have a message of speak to your parents before they die, guys, it'd suck if your estranged parent died while you were no contact. They're not the best ones for this season. But Nativity always fucking hits. I'm buzzing for the new Gavin and Stacey. I'm buzzing for the new Outnumbered. I'm buzzing for new Doctor Who. Oh shit, this is me being a media autistic again, isn't it? It's just, I love media, and they suddenly do Christmas themed versions around Christmas, and I'm like, oh yes! So I love keeping up with that stuff. That brings me a lot of joy. I think that's the big thing, is just finding the things that bring you joy for it. And there's definitely a message of like your family is supposed to bring you joy, the people around you are supposed to bring you joy, and like, yeah, they absolutely are, but a lot of us don't have that. So what's the next best thing? What else brings you joy? What else makes you happy? Do that. That should be the point of Christmas. The point of Christmas is just to try and have a good fucking day. That's my thoughts, that's my opinion. That's how I try and, I don't know the word, that's how I look at it. That's my perspective on it, that's my opinion. You know, like growing up, I was always like, this is gonna be the best Christmas ever. And I've definitely gotten over that. I'm like, it should just be a good day. It should just be a fun day. It doesn't matter if you did anything. It doesn't matter if you just got pissed on your own and fucking watched a load of Christmas films. It doesn't matter if you got pissed on your own and watched no Christmas films. It doesn't matter if you didn't even, maybe don't get pissed on your own. Depends what kind of person you are. A lot of British culture is centred around alcohol, or it'll lie to you. And it's the type of thing where like, is drinking on my own healthy? No, I don't advise it. Once a year on the 25th of December, if you find it fun and it actually like makes you feel good in some way, go for it. You know, like all that being said, I take that stance and do those things because I like Christmas. I want it to be a good time for me. I don't want it to be ruined just because my family weren't very nice to me, you know? Like I there is some degree of like spite to it, of like I am going to have a good fucking Christmas regardless, because like they all knew that I loved Christmas, and there were so many Christmases that people did little things and just went out of their way to make it not as fun for me. So like, no, I am going to have a good time. I am going to enjoy Christmas regardless of what I have around me to be able to enjoy it with, you know? I've already started buying me Christmas food. I've already started stacking up the things that I'm going to watch on Christmas Day. A lot of it's the new specials that are coming out and stuff, you know. Just do what makes you feel good. And I think, see, that's the kind of thing that I really needed to be told and really needed to figure out. Because so much of Christmas is traditions and things that you're used to and the things that you do every single year. And I feel like, at least for me as an autistic person, sometimes I do need someone to just be like, you don't have to though. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. Like my first Christmas, I ate a Brussels sprout because I'd eaten a Brussels sprout every single year. And I feel sick while I eat them and it ruins whatever I've eaten right before and right after, and I hate it. And the second year I was like, I don't have to eat a Brussels sprout. I don't have to eat a single Brussels sprout. I don't have to do that. But you know, like that took me like realistically over a year, because that was the second Christmas, to just be like, I don't have to buy, cook and eat something that I actively dislike, because it just didn't strike me as that. So this is just your little reminder, if you need it, that you can do whatever the fuck you want on Christmas Day, whatever you fancy, whatever you think's going to bring you a little bit of joy, whatever you think's going to just, you know, if you don't think you're going to be able to have a bit of joy, if you want to just nap through the fucking day, just do whatever's going to work for you and whatever's going to make you feel the best that you can. Like, so much of dealing with like family estrangement and cutting off family and not having your parents about and things like that is just being kind to yourself and figuring out what actually feels good and what actually works, at least in my experience and for me. Because my family were very like, things had to be a certain way and we were supposed to behave a certain way, and you know, like it was so structured and routine, and I felt like that was how things had to be. I felt like that was what was supposed to be, and that was the right way of going about things, you know? And like, it's a right way of going about things for sure, but I can do my own things. Like literally whatever you find to be fun, whatever you find that makes you happy, you can just do that. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Like really just prioritise your own happiness and well-being and do that. And real quick at the end here, I obviously talked a lot about like, I make sure I'm not on my own, I make sure I have people to like be around and be with, even if it's not always the nicest. So for anyone that's like, oh well, I want that, but I don't have anybody, I don't know who to reach out to, I can't offer an awful lot. Like I said, I'm definitely now considering, I haven't thought about it before literally saying it in this video, I won't lie, but I really like the idea of doing a little live stream or something and like chatting with y'all. I think it's also, if you're that kind of person like me, my next step, if I couldn't find friends to do it with, was going to be like volunteering at a soup kitchen, finding somewhere for people to go to. Like, I know a lot of places in Liverpool and like my general area have things that you can go to for free or for a very small amount, where you can just have dinner with people, have a coffee in the morning, things like that. Like, people don't like being alone on Christmas, and we're all aware of that for the most part. And a lot of places will have things going on, and hopefully and things in place that are definitely worth looking into if that's something that would interest you. I'm sorry I don't have like proper advice. I just know that sometimes when I'm dealing with stuff, things like that just wouldn't come to mind for me. I just wouldn't have thought to like Google Christmas dinner near me, or like, I don't even know what I'd Google, I won't lie to you. You are going to have to do your own research there, I'm sorry, but it's a little idea, it's a little thing that you can try. Yeah, like I said, this is my third Christmas without my family, and I feel like, honestly, I've done pretty damn well, and I've gotten through it all pretty well, and reorganised myself pretty well, and things are working out for me on that regard, in that way. So I do want to, like, ideally make some more videos like this that might be helpful to people throughout the month, that I, like, a bunch, like, not a bunch, but, like, a fair few of you commented on, I don't remember which video, there was a video where I mentioned, like, family estrangement around Christmas and stuff, and quite a few of you commented that it was, like, your first or second time going through it, or, like, just generally that you're also dealing with the same thing. So if I can be of any use, if I can be at all helpful, I do really want to be. So if there's anything specific you'd like to see me like chat about on this topic, please do let me know in the comments below. I often struggle with like specific topics relating to like family estrangement, cutting off your parents and all that kind of thing, because so much of it is, I just dealt with it, I just lived through it, I just got through it because I fucking had to. But when people like ask about specific topics and specific things, I then am prompted to actually think about more specific things, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I did that and I did this and I felt like this, oh yeah, that makes sense. So asking me about stuff if you're curious, like I never mind it. Honestly, you can ask anything, and if I don't want to answer it, I just won't, so go off. But yeah, that's the end of the video. So if you wanted to like and subscribe, that'd be really cool. I post on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, and I'm also just posting extra bits of random stuff throughout the month in an attempt to be entertaining and helpful to people that are struggling a little bit, because this does tend to be a pretty rough fucking time for me as well. And as much as I'm coping with it all real well, I don't mean I'm having fun while I'm coping with it, you know? I'm not really enjoying it, I'm just coping. So yeah, you can also follow me over on TikTok and Instagram, I'll link them down below. And alongside that, I will also link my Patreon and my Ko-fi if you'd like to help support me financially. You don't have to, there's never any pressure. And it's Christmas, quite frankly. If you've got the money to be sending to me, I'd rather you bought yourself something nice with it at this point. Like, treat yourself, do something good for you. Yeah, I don't know why I have a whole segment that's like, give me your money, just to be like, but don't, spend it on you. But yeah, get yourself a little treat, it's Christmas. This is getting really long, I'm going now. Whoever you are and wherever you are, hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.